Hello, welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at the Shadow Typhlosion in the Open Great League. This Pokemon was one of the best Pokemon last season, and you haven't really seen this one at all. You have not really seen this Pokemon at all. I've maybe faced it 2, 3 or 4 times, somewhere around there, and every single time I faced it, it was with this team here. So this team is not a creation by me, but I was really curious on how good this team actually is. Personally, when I went up against it, I had mixed results. Sometimes I lost, sometimes I won. I think I mainly won against it though. But I kind of want to give it a try myself, and what can I say? You will see it here today anyway. I don't really have to talk too much about it. You're going to have a lot of gameplay towards it, so you can make your own little picture towards this one, as we'll see on how strong this Pokemon still is, what are the issues. Spoiler alert, it is definitely still usable. But it's definitely worse than last season. We're going to see also why this is the case here today and what are the problems of this Pokemon. But still, there is a lot of fun involved with this Pokemon as well. You're gonna see some very cool streams with Typhlosion, so stay tuned for this one. Also, Lone Sandslash is not a friend of this team. Like, as soon as you're going to see like no Lone Sandslash, you basically won against this Pokemon because like, what is it supposed to do here? Anyway, we're going to have the lead here of our good friend, the Gastrodon. Why Gastrodon? Gastrodon is a very unique Mud Slapper. Mud Slapper, very important generally speaking, as you kind of need an answer for Pokemon like a Bastion, for example. But yeah, it's a very unique Mud Slapper in the case that it is the part water typing. Why is it so important? Because you need something for Azumarill. You have Thunder Punch on our Say-Stop, which is cool for Azumarill. But generally speaking, not as ideal either, and so yeah, I don't know. You're gonna see the Fly coming through, you're gonna see your opponent's Machamp for, of course, those Azumarill. You're going to have a little bit better play with the Gastrodon compared to other Mud Slappers, as Water as well as the Ice type move of Ice Beam. Shocking. Is going to be neutral against you and not super effective, which is really, really nice. You know what's also kind of nice? The shiny form of the opponent's Pokemon here. Pangoran shiny, it looks really, really cool. Shouts to you, very, very nice to see this one. We have told this is a Night Session, by the way, otherwise we're screwed. It is luckily going to be a Night Session, so we're going to be able to knock them out here with a Thunder Punch. But yeah, this is going to be a very interesting matchup here as well again. Thunder Punch going to knock out the opponent. We can go for another Thunder Punch double resisted against the opponent's Clodsire. Still might be able to force a shield, it doesn't. But you're still going to have the Gastrodon anyway, and look at the damage output here. No matter what the opponent going to try to do, we should be kind of fine here. Earthquake is coming through, we're going to get more damage onto them as well, and we can go for the full farm down. Next up, we're going to have a Charger Bug here, and honestly, I'm kind of devastated on how I can play this matchup, because if you think about it, of course, we're going to have 2 Fire-type Pokemon in the back, and also those going to be able to resist the Bug typing. So the obvious play would be to kind of swap out when it makes the most amount of sense, right? When the opponent wants to go for a charge move. And I should have done this here. I should have swapped out here at this point, where the opponent is only at 1 HP. I should have just went out straight away into my Typhlosion, get a free Incinerate through, let the move go through, have some energy advantage, and then realign myself. And that's like the most important thing about this team. Keeping alignment, keeping the perfect alignment here in this case. We're going to have 2 Water-type Pokemon in the back, where there was not really a lot I could have done anyway. Meloma, a very neutral Pokemon for this team, and to be fair, I would suggest you to swap out of here as well. Out of this matchup, you can maybe stay in for 1 hit here, go for your own charge move and then swap out. This is also a possible option. I would actually recommend you to maybe even swap out straight away into Typhlosion. Typhlosion, by the way, here for this team is always going to be the safe swap. Having access to that big blast burn helps out quite a bit, I have to admit. As we will see, the opponent's Diogon going down here. Thunder Punch very cool for this kind of scenarios as well. We will see the opponent's Azumarill coming in, and Azumarill is definitely the worst Pokemon to face with this team, as we're going to have that big weakness against this Pokemon. Still, we're going to have 1 Pokemon that's very neutral, and you're still going to have 1 Pokemon that has Thunder Punch here, which is going to do a solid amount of damage as well. So not all hope is lost here yet. Are we going to see the Meloma though coming in, or are we going to be able to still go for the farm down with our Talonflame? I'm fairly certain that the Foul Play is actually doing a little bit more damage than an Ice Beam from the Azumarill. Foul Play going to be a stab move, and Ice Beam is not going to be a very strong move. And generally speaking, of course, Azumarill doesn't have the attack set that a Meloma has. Ice Beam coming through here, and I definitely went for 1 too much in terms of fast move pressure here. We're already at 100 energy at this point, but it doesn't really matter, as we're going to still be able to go for 2 charge moves anyway. And so we are going to be able to get that shield, and we can go into our Gastrodon, we can take a hit. And we have to hope that our final Pokemon is going to be fine here. Yeah, this definitely didn't work there. Anyway, next opponent, we're going to have a horrible lead and a horrible say-so, but they still decide to forfeit for whatever reason, so thanks for the free win. Next opponent is going to be a tough one for sure as well. Let's see on how this is going to go. We're going to have the Marowak here coming in against us. This is not really ideal. We're going to be able to go ahead and go for the charge move there as well. Voice Slam is coming through, that's fine. But as we will see here now next as well, the opponent is going to stay in here. We're going to swap out into the Talonflame to catch that move. This is going to be very important to catch the move here, as we will see now the opponent stopping into the Miltank. They have definitely quite a lot of coverage for the Pokemon right now. Definitely a lot of coverage for the Pokemon that they have. It's going to be a rollout farm down, and this Miltank I think is going to be quite special as well, which I think we're going to see here soon as well. The opponent's going to go for a charge move here, and it's going to be the Ice Beam from the opponent. Spoiler alert. Knocking us out. But you might think, oh, now it's going to be Body Slam spam. It is not going to be the case. It is going to be a Thunderbolt. They have Ice Beam Thunderbolt on their little cow, which is a cool play there for sure. We're going to get out the opponent's Marowak. We're going to be able to at least do some nice damage here. Miltank is coming back in. We have to go for a Thunder Punch in order to knock them out. They decide to no-shield this one as well. They're going to have a Dragon on the back, which kind of already was sealed the deal if they wanted to go into that Pokemon. Next opponent, horrible lead. We're going to see the horrible say-so of Feraligatr, but we should be able to guarantee realign ourselves. And that's going to be very important in the battle that we have here right now, because guaranteeing realignment is going to allow us to end up basically with the Grass-type Pokemon against our Talonflame. And this is going to be a very good thing for us. But as you're going to see here, the opponent is going to decide to use a shield again. Going to be very close for us here to try to go for the Thunder Punch. I think I would have been able to even outperform by a little bit more here as well at this point, but I decided to go straight forward as the opponent decides to swap out into the Gastrodon. And so, what Pokemon should I go into? I, of course, go into my own one, which I don't think is actually the correct play now in hindsight. But of course, I couldn't really know what the opponent has in the back, and so Earth Power is coming through. I can knock them out here guaranteed. They had a little bit of previous damage already, of course, on them, allowing us to get the Earth Power in to knock them out. We just have to swap out straight away. It is going to be a matchup where Talonflame has to basically deal it all, but sadly, the opponent is going to be able to go for another charge move here with their Feraligatr, which is actually going to one-shot us, losing us the battle. Good game there, well played from the opponent. Next opponent, Feraligatr in the lead. This is going to be a matchup again where Gastrodon can just stay in. We usually stay in here. It is a weird one. Like, it is a weird one again. Like, you're going to be able to win the zero shield scenario guaranteed. But then 2 and 1 shield scenario is a little bit of a weird one. As we will see here, we're going to be able to let the move go through and just try our best with the Typhlosion, trying to get as much energy as possible. Yes, I go one for the Thunder Punch there, but in hindsight, like, I think it's the right call, because at the end of the day, I will be able to very likely go for 2 big Blast Burns here against the opponent instead of just 1. Blast Burn is now going to connect against the opponent's Cristian, going to allow us to get a ton of damage onto them. And then we can also swap out into our Talonflame. They're very likely going to have a weakness against Fire-type Pokemon in the back. As they still stay in here, we're going to use all the energy as possible. They're actually going to have their own Talonflame, so they're not actually weak to the Fire-typing. They're weak to the Thunder Punch, which is also an interesting choice here. As we decide to go for another move here, the opponent's going to be forced to use a shield, which is perfect because now we can just still go ahead with the 1 Thunder Punch that we had stored there already, knock out this player, and yeah, we're going to be really good in terms of the spot that we're in right now, because the Cristian has nowhere to go. They can go for a charge move, we can just shield up, win the battle with the Incinerate that we snuck in here, and we can move on to the next opponent. Amazing lead, like literally perfect lead. If it was the pre-evolution of this Pokemon, actually I would have been able to also do super effective damage with the fire typing that I have. That's like the thing as well, which I never really, I don't know, like I feel so weird that we have a double type Pokemon already in the pre-evolution that evolves into a different double type, like, Pokemon afterwards, Skorupi and the Drapion. Whereas Skorupi actually has the bug typing over the dark typing, and that's kind of funny. Anyway, we're going to be able to now see here as well the opponent having a Mandibuzz. That is fine. We're going to be able to go ahead and go for a big Blast Burn. You might wonder, why did you go for Blast Burn? Because I know I can only go for 2 moves anyway. and Blast Blend going to cover up a potential swap if they want to keep their mana boss alive. But here, as you will see, the opponent is not expecting us at all to have this Pokemon, and this is the great thing here of it. Like, this Pokemon is so kind of unique as well, Typhlosion, at the current meta, that a lot of people are just not really prepared of it, and like, this was definitely my favorite battle so far, but also for the reason that the opponent is going to run Thunder Punch, which this kind of makes it up. It's kind of like the opponent is going to be able to go for super effective hits here and they're actually going to be able to knock me out, and this is going to make it a very, very scary, but luckily our little slug here is going to be able to knock them out with a body slam, and we can move on to the next opponent. Gastrodon against Moltres is not the matchup that we want to see. We can swap out straight away just to get hardwalled by a Marowak, and like, those things just going to happen. There are going to be games where there's no way of really winning, and this is definitely one of them. Like, having a hard counter lead, having a hard counter save up, it is just not going to be our day here. And that's like the thing as well, which I kind of have to say with this team. I thought it would be more flexible because of the Thunder Punch that they have on that on that save up, of course, of the Typhlosion. I thought it would be a little bit more flexible. It really, really wasn't. And so I definitely feel like there is a kind of huge fall-off of this Pokemon this season, and for good reason, to be fair. Like, going up against like kind of any kind of ground type Pokemon is so tough, as like now the ground type Pokemon doing so much damage with that Mud Slap is quite a difficult task for sure. Anyway, we're going to see the Azumarill against us, which we think is going to be great, because Azumarill is going to be able to just go only for the Ice Beams here, and so we can still go for another Earth Power. This is going to be great for us, as we're going to be able to knock out the opponent. And we are gonna see, oh, actually a shield coming up. We might be able, we're gonna use a shield here as well. I should be able to still get to a body slam spam now. Body slam spam, I will be able to outspeed the opponent with as well. And it's going to do some solid damage against the opponent. Enough now to knock out that Azumarill, and we can now move on into our, into our Typhlosion, into the opponent's Morpeko. That's interesting. I really need to get rid of this Pokemon. I have two Pokemon in the back that are going to be very weak against the spawn. And so, yeah, as we will see, we're going to be able to go for a Thunder Punch, trying to force a shield from the opponent, I guess, which does work out quite a bit. And so, yeah, the opponent going to be able to go for a charge move. It's going to be the Aurora knocking us out, forcing me to go ahead and go into the Talonflame, and they decide to forfeit here as well, which is great. Second to last battle, we're going to have the Gastrodon in the lead, and we're going to see, of course, already the Clodsire, and the opponent having now a Malamar against you. Malamar, going to be a very scary Pokemon. Having access to foul play as well as superpower, making it very, very difficult to understand what move they're going to go for. But as you'll see here, we're going to be able to get the knockout with our good friend Typhlosion. In comes the Clodsire from the opponent. That is going to be a bit of a trickier one here. We decided to use a shield again. This is going to be Fine Stoned coming through here from the opponent. We're going to be able to go for our own Blast Burn. This is going to do tremendous amounts of damage here against the opponent, knocking them straight into the grave. And honestly, I should have went for the Thunder Punches here, which I think I would have been able to even get another one off in time. But yeah, that's kind of unfortunate because it's actually going to impact quite a bit. If I would have been able to get to that move, I highly actually don't. I don't know. Like, if I would have been able to go for a back-to-back move there, I would have been in a way, way better spot. But anyway, we want to see here the Moltres coming through from the opponent. We had to try to catch a move. It did not work out. And so sadly, this battle is not going to end well. As we will see here as well, the opponent is not really having any play or whatsoever. As you're going to see here, the opponent is going to be able to go ahead and go for that Ancient Power and knock us out. Next opponent here, we're going to have Diggersby against us in the lead. This is going to be a very neutral matchup for us. It is not going to be a winnable one directly here. I think we're most likely going to lose this all the time, as Quick Attack just generates energy a little bit faster than we can, and they can hit us here for some nice and neutral damage, which you can do as well. But yeah, of course, Diggersby is just a little bit bulkier. But anyway, we're going to see that Draping coming in, and I am not too worried about this Pokemon. I can use a shield here. It's going to be the Awkward Tail, and I can now go for the double Thunder Punch, which is going to work out very, very likely here. As you will see, the Thunder Punch is coming through. We're going to be able to actually go for the full Farm Down. I think going for the full Farm Down here might be also an interesting shout. Well, let's see what we're going to see. We're going to see the... Okay. We're going to see here that the electric type move Thunder Punch is coming through, and they can still knock us out with a Diggersby. That's kind of unfortunate with the Diggersby, kind of annoys me a little bit, but we're still going to have the Talonflame for this Pokemon. In comes Toxapex. Toxapex does not appreciate our Gastrodon whatsoever, and yeah, one more Earth Power going to put them into either range. to get knocked out by the other one against the Talonflame just with the fast moves, or just gonna get them knocked out here straight away. We want to see the Earthbow coming through, and we will see the KO against the Toxapex, and with this game is over. Diggersby doesn't like the Talonflame, and so thanks so much for watching this video. It was a bit late where I was calling this one, so sorry if there was anything weird in. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.